All right, YouTube, settle down. I am not discussing drugs nor promoting them. I'm simply giving a review of a documentary about the business of drugs, which is on Netflix. So hold your horses on the whole demonetization thing. In this Netflix documentary series, former CIA analyst Amaryllis Fox investigates the economics of illicit substances. She does that to better understand the impact of the trafficking business. Her presentation style reminds me a little bit of Morgan Spurlock from Super Size Me. I mean, her tone is just very pleasing. She presents it in a very easy to listen way that is both intelligent and simplified so that we can follow along and not get lost in all kinds of weird details, but she becomes super engaging in the narrative that she's telling. Fox travels the world to interview users, manufacturers, enforcers, pushers, dealers, government officials, and even the media. The info that she provides is really interesting. She goes into the places where the substances are produced, consumed, and even confiscated. The trafficking and money aspects I found to be some of the most interesting parts of this 6-part documentary. It's crazy to see how much items are worth, especially as they go along their trade route. Just how they increase in value the farther out they go because of all of the roadblocks and the hazards they encounter along the way to their final destination. It's crazy to find out some of the ingredients that go into these substances in the manufacturing process. I'm talking like gasoline or laxative, and then even just wilder stuff like fentanyl. The thought that a lot of these substances are being ingested is shocking, but what's heartbreaking is that most of these are highly addictive. I was shocked at the amount of access that Fox got on her interviews. I mean, we go to places that I would never expect that she would be able to gain entrance into. She goes to jungles and walks alongside regimes. She goes inside inspection areas, sees armed enforcers, and even gets to go into labs and cook areas. And that's just bizarre too, because not all of them are like what you saw in Breaking Bad. I mean, even as janky as the RV was, at least it was somewhat clean. Some of these places are just straight janky. What's crazy is the people that actually agree to sit down and talk with her. I mean, there's military leaders who are complicit in the trade, and it's funny to watch how they spin the information and how they try and put it off or put it on to somebody else or just to make themselves look better, and knowing all along that, no, you're actually the scumbag. She even gets to sit down with the manufacturers themselves, the users, the dealers, everybody. And in addition to all of those, she sits down with people that are on the opposite side who are trying to help those that are addicted. Everybody that she talks to in all of the places that she goes really helps to build just a good full story. I mean, it helps obviously because there's visuals as she's telling the story and as she's interviewing people, so we actually get to see what's going on. But just the stories themselves are so engaging and so interesting. Each episode focuses on a new substance, and so that was kind of fun. We have a last dance with Mary Jane, a little bit of nose candy, my good friend Molly, and so much more. The info that she provides is really engaging, and like I said, the presentation style is outstanding. And you couple that with all of the great interviews that she is able to do, and it just provides just a well-rounded documentary. One thing that I do like is that you can watch these out of order if you choose. Now, I would probably start with episode 1, just because that gives you a little bit of background and a little bit of information on Amaryllis Fox herself, but then after that, you can watch them totally in whatever order you want to. But I found myself super easy to watch from beginning to end in one sitting. They're each about 30, 35 minutes, somewhere around there. So it's not going to take a ton of time. It's actually a fairly quick watch. But I found myself, engaged. I didn't want to walk away. It was just like, yep, I'm here. Next episode, please. If you're into documentaries, and I highly recommend you check out The Business of Drugs on Netflix. There's no sex, nudity, or violence, but there is some profanity and some disturbing imagery. So have you ever gone on a bad trip? You don't really have to answer that. I'm just kind of curious at what it's like if you've ever gone on one and could actually describe it if you want to. If you do want to, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.